Hey, just a quick clip right before the episode here. Just want to first of all thank y'all for the support, everybody on the Facebook group, and everybody that's been watching and commenting and messaging me and calling me and asking to be on the show. Just like to say thank you to all you guys for the support. Please continue to. Uh, Follow the show. I'm gonna have a couple of episodes coming out. Remember to subscribe on YouTube. I'm also on Spotify and iTunes. So I just want to put something out before this video, this episode, to thank you guys. Also to let you know that at the end, one of my cameras malfunctioned. So at the end of this video, my shot is gone for the last 10 minutes, but the end of the episode is great. So you're gonna see and you hear both of us the same. So if you just listen to it, whatever, it's gonna be straight. Technical difficulties from the beginning, you learn through the process. Thank you guys for being there for the process. All right, peace.
Here they go again. Here they go again.
One more time, one more time, one more time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then in the middle of it, we can go, hey, do another song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
Let's
can
do
do
that.
whatever. We're just in my garage, right? It's not like we're, anywhere else. So yeah, y'all know what it is. I'm here with the boy E. What's good?
It's good.
Yo, man, second episode of the podcast. I'm doing. What do you think about the place?
I'm very excited about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Elaborate more about me and what I do.
Elaborate more about you and what you do.
I'm being funny about
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'm trying to be like, talk more about me because it's kind of, but I do want you to do that.
I know that in myself. So the fact that you asked it, I thought to myself, wow, this cat really is wearing it all on his sleeve.
Remember?
Yeah.
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 So I like that.
Yeah. Because people are going to notice it anyways.
Yeah.
So if I notice
Exactly.
it, I'm going to hide it. It's
Exactly.
on camera. Anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Jumping into the pool.
yeah. So I asked you a question.
So the question was, what do I think about you and all this?
Oh, yeah.
And very good thoughts. Like I have a genuine excitement about being in this room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because it's like, wow, this is happening.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what me and when you watch the first episode, when you see it, that's what me and Jody. That was the first thing we said. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I like I said on that episode, like he's been behind me all the way. You know how he is. Like
Yeah.
he always like he knows the artist wants to quit, and is always tempted to quit, And
Yeah.
so he's been there, And it's funny. At one point, I made with him that I'm just gonna share with you, just because he's your brother. That I said, yo, when it comes to like things that people disagree with him about, and whatever's going on, that cat was there for me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Oh my God. All right, I gotta hire a new set guy.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good. Okay, cool.
It's good.
All
I
right, so
hope.
we're good. So yeah, your brother really did. So you know what I mean. And he was kind of like, and every time I shared something with him, he was just like, okay, yeah, think about this. You know what I mean? And he was there just to say, keep on doing it.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all some of us need. So yeah. So thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Because he's been that for me too.
Yeah. Elaborate.
Just more as like a ear to like whatever I'm working on. I'll bounce it off of him, and then he's not afraid to like. I mean, he'll give me his exact response, which is very very helpful.
Yeah, it is.
If you're trying to just like get an objective view on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. Yeah, and he doesn't. I mean, but he knows how to say it too.
He's very good at sensing that part of yourself that will try to find an excuse.
Well, yeah. No, you're right, and I think it's just because we all do it. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's
Right.
because we all do it. But enough about him. What about you, bro? What you been up to?
I've been animating. Yeah, I've been.
So before we even start, let's go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Eliza Lancelot. My friends call me E.
Nice.
Um,
What do you do?
I am, man. I hate talking about myself like this.
I don't care.
All right. Well, what do I do?
Well, listen. I don't want people to hear what you have to say, and like if we go starting to get into all this art stuff, and they're like, they don't know. But
Right.
but for me, there's a lot of respect from this side because I've known you since you were like 17, probably, and from then it's you had the camera around your neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you were always doing stuff from the moment I've met you. You know,
Yeah.
so I've seen that progression for
Yeah.
how long has that been, dude? What
I don't
year
know.
was that?
Maybe like the 2010s, 11s, 12s.
Well, did I have a kid? Did I have kids yet when you first met me? I don't think I did. I didn't. I met Jeremy. I didn't have any kids.
Oh, you're talking about like,
High Point.
wow.
That's when I first met you.
Wow.
I met your brother on the basketball court out there one day after a Wednesday
Okay.
service. I brought Chris here. Remember, we used to pick up somebody that he used to bring there.
That's true.
Remember that? And
Dang,
and
bro.
then we used to chill with Jeremy.
So that's definitely like 2007 or 8.
That's 2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
2007 or 8. Yeah. Jeremy, me, Chris, original Luminosity.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
You guys are part of history now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Whose history?
Mine.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm gonna pass the stories on to Sean and to your children. We used to be nothing. We still are nothing. But yeah, man, what the heck were we talking about? It happened. You don't know, do you?
No.
No. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're gonna keep on. We're gonna push through. But yeah, man, putting this together, blah blah blah. We're talking about you. Who are you? That's why you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
You're trying.
That's why it was so easy to forget.
I'm not gonna talk anymore.
All right. So basically, I am a singer-songwriter, I guess. No, I am.
Yeah, I get one.
Singer-songwriter,
Okay.
animator, overthinker.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and
Oh, speaking of
just I like to make things. I like to make stories. I like to think about stories.
Gotcha.
I like to watch stories.
Huh. Yeah, right. That's most people, but you dissect them in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people in those stories.
Gotcha. So how long have you been writing?
Like writing anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like, what's that evolution of, like, you know,
so it started from journaling, in class.
yeah.
Starting to journal at work, just talking about some ideas. That being most of the time I spent was just like
How old
figuring
were you
out
at the time?
It was like maybe high school, late out of college, or early into college, late out of high school.
And what are you journaling at that? What is that?
Just keeping check of my thoughts. Like, what am I thinking about every day? What happened today?
Oh, yeah, I used to
Like,
do that.
how am I feeling right now?
Do you still have those journals?
Some of them.
You should read them.
I've read some.
Oh,
of them.
good. I do that all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. But it's so
But I need to get
starting with journaling.
Yeah. So that's when I started writing. But like, I guess creating stories ever since Luby and I were kids, drawing in like your son,
Yeah.
drawing composition journals, things like that.
Wow.
Like him and I would fill up the two sides of the composition journal. He would be laying on that side, I'd be laying on this side, and then we'd both just draw like stories together.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I had a certain character, he had a certain character. And
Yeah.
we would draw
Well-
them into the whole storyline.
Did you guys have action figures as a kid?
We did. We had some action figures.
But that's what it seems like to me. But you guys just didn't like drawing. That's crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes we would make our own toys. Like we would draw our characters.
Yeah.
and then cut
That's
them
what
out
that's
and
what I'm
make-
trying to.
yeah.
And then take them out. And play them.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you guys been like that from the beginning. Huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. I mean, I noticed that again. I've said this to you many times from when you were a kid. From that first day, like this cat was always. What video did you do? You guys did a weird video.
Yeah, they're all weird.
Davey and Goliath.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Hey, link in the description.
Oh my gosh.
Is it still up? Maybe not.
Most likely.
Yeah, probably not anymore. By the time I go to put it in the link.
I haven't deleted anything.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever uploaded, I've kept up there.
Yeah, man.
So there is like this big history back there that I
That's
stopped.
like YouTube first coming out.
Huh?
That's like when YouTube first came out.
Yeah.
Not first came out.
When I first started uploading anything, whatever
Yeah.
you've seen on the internet is still there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah. If MySpace is still there, what
No,
happened to MySpace? Is MySpace gone?
Go to MySpace right now, bro. You think I'm lying to you?
I know. Okay. So
Okay.
did all of our accounts get deleted?
Oh, I don't know about having going to. I mean, depends on how deep
sure
you
it
want to
has.
go.
I'm not trying to go that deep.
Yeah. I didn't think so. Like, oh, let me find my old password. I still have the Koinonia Lounge card up there with the brick wall.
See, that's the thing. I don't know like what I don't even know what my password would be or.
Of course, bro. How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah, but MySpace was the thing. Oh my god,
High school.
Dude. Look. Can I? Oh my, hold on. Ski. Bop. MySpace.com, bro.
Yeah.
MySpace.com. Right here.
Weird.
Strange, isn't it? I
Yeah,
wonder.
it's weird. I
Like,
don't even know
Like,
what to
how
make.
is this still on? Where's Tom at?
I don't know what. Yeah, is his profile picture still there?
I'm not logging in. I don't care. But it's there.
Didn't Justin Timberlake buy it?
Maybe I'd see him. Is his picture up here? For some reason, I thought I saw him up here. No, that's Pharrell. Same thing. Same difference. Anyways, what are we doing? Yeah, MySpace still
Wow,
exists.
that's weird.
I'm surprised that's surprising to you.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised because I remember they tried to reboot it one time and I actually signed up for it. Like I've been rooting for MySpace.
Oh, really?
Like in a weird way, it's like
Okay, what's going on?
on this level where they're a company or I don't know who owns it or whatever, but they're just trying to see what works to make it come back. And maybe their move will be in the future. Maybe they'll make some kind of weird big move that takes everybody at the game.
Like, how are they making money?
I have no idea.
How are they making
I don't
money?
know
But
how
we're
any of
supposed to be
this
talking
works.
about you. So singer-songwriter. So yeah.
Yeah.
We MySpace. We're going off on the incredible freaking trails.
Well, yeah, but that's me though. I mean, I'm interested in those types of things. I want to know like how everything works. I feel like that's where I am right now. Like I feel like I've learned a lot of things from other people, and I've stayed in a couple of lanes for a long time.
Gotcha.
And now I've stuck my head out, and I've kind of looked at what I've been doing objectively, which has been good and bad. Because parts of me is like, oh wow, really cool, and the other parts of me is like, man, like you need to change something. Because I mean, I feel like you're one thing.
Can you give me an example?
Like businesses, I've been really interested in starting a business that has nothing to do with anything I like, but just like, you know what I mean, like people who buy businesses.
Oh yeah.
Things like
Yeah,
that.
you mean being an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
yes,
something like that.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That everybody's kind of on that tip. It seems. Not
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
but not everybody. Maybe everybody, but the people that I've been around have been on that tip. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I could go through the list.
But what I'm attracted to about that is like the level of person that usually has to lead one of those things without it tipping over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it takes somebody who's pretty stable and continuous. And
So you're looking forward to the challenge, and because it's a
I mean,
challenge, it's scary.
yeah, that's what it is. It's like there's another part of me is like, am I truly living if I'm not getting the fullest challenge that I
Hey,
can?
bro, listen.
And that's the terrifying thought right there.
Yeah, and remember the fear I was telling you?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's the same thing.
So that's why, I was
Yeah.
connected with that.
No, it's cool because and that's funny that you had that feeling because I was thinking about this the other day, and I was just thinking about and I was telling your brother about this, that even the concept of like the way the Earth stays together, it's together by gravity, right?
Yeah.
And then if you laid down on the floor and pushed yourself up a couple of times, right? Just laid face down and push yourself up, what would happen over time?
You get stronger.
Exactly. You get stronger pushing up
That's
against
crazy.
gravity. Like even the way the world, just this physics is set up,
Yeah.
is like you're gonna get stronger if you push
Right.
against gravity.
Right.
You know what I mean? To try to fly. You know what I
Right.
mean? To make that soul shine.
Right,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's what I meant. Everything
Yeah.
is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all that same thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I would, when I started thinking about posture and things like that, that's how I started to think about it. Was because
You
like,
mean physical posture?
yeah, physical posture,
yeah.
like how important that is. Like I maybe saw like a couple chiropractic videos, and after seeing them, I started watching chiropractic. No, I had a chiropractic visit.
Yeah.
After that, I was interested in watching chiropractic videos.
Yeah.
And I got, used to seeing all these people come in with all these problems that they had for years, and then, they crack their neck a little bit, and then, that problem is solved.
Yeah.
And they're focusing on the spine, like they're focusing on, the entire,
Mm-hmm.
your nerve system.
Yeah.
And how like having proper posture lifts you off of the pressure points of that system. Like, it helps everything to flow.
Yeah.
And in order to have good posture, you have to constantly be pushing against gravity and holding your body up. And so there's like that idea as well with that. It's like the idea of having to hold yourself up against gravity constantly coming down on you. It's a given. It's always going to push you closer to the
Like, and we're strong enough to do
right.
that.
But we have to keep walking strong, keep lifting ourselves up. You know, like keep pushing against life. In general.
And you know what I even thought about too, and you would appreciate this. I pushed it a little bit further for my own mind's sake, and then I was like, oh, and then you think about Dragon Ball Z and the training and the gravity and and like, that's like the thing in the story. They get it. Like the Japanese guy who Toriyama who wrote that, like, they get that. They get the value in that. Like,
right.
That's what. But the Saiyans are hyper that, obviously. Hyper push against gravity. That's why they're 3,000 times of gravity training. But, you know, I guess maybe the point, and maybe we can shift into in the conversation too, is like how in that right there is a concept and story that can just pass you or can get into you and you don't even realize that it preached it to you. You know what I mean?
This is like animalistic part of us that connects with that on a human level. It's there's something holding them back, and then they push themselves past that. To where when they meet those struggles later on, because those villains come back in future sagas like that, they face them, they're just like,
easy, exactly, and that's like the progress of life. You know what I mean? The only thing in Toriyama is it was Gohan's turn.
He personified that. It was
Gohan's turn. No, I'm saying the problem is it was Gohan's turn.
Right.
What the heck? What, you know, you got to bring this cat back. GT and this cat's a kid, and what's going on? We starting all over again. Groundhog Day, freaking. Anyways, that's for you Dragon Ball Z nerds. You know what I'm talking about. It's Gohan's turn. You know what I'm saying? One arm. Oh, you seen that video? Anyways,
one arm?
No, the video that my kid showed you.
Yeah.
Anyways, but but the point about is that you know how story can basically push like a truth that you're learning as far as like, you know, pushing against gravity. Something that I've been thinking about. You know, Billy was talking about it to me too. You know, Billy lost 100 pounds, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Billy was talking too, and then good. You know what I mean? And he's exactly. You know, and he's literally pushing against gravity. So he was telling me that he learned this lesson about being comfortable, that everything that he realized was somebody told him about somebody else, that, oh, this person, every choice that they make in their life, they do it to be comfortable. And then Billy, being the contrarian that he is, you know, was like, that's a harsh, and, you know, to try to push back a little bit, you know, and he said at the time he did, but that's not the point. And then later on he thought about it, and does that apply to me? And this is before he started working out and stuff, you know. And there's more details to it. I'll let him tell the story. Like, I can't wait till he visits, because he's already, you know, he's slated to come here, but to come on the podcast. But
okay.
Yeah, of course. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah, Billy was like one of the first people that put the seed in my head, but he didn't know it. You know? Like when he was teaching me about the gaming stuff, he thought I was just gonna do some gaming stuff, and that's what I thought at the time too.
For Twitch.
Yeah, and then I'm just using it here. But anyways, Billy was talking about Billy, where we were at. Billy was getting in shape. Really looks good. But he was talking about everything to be comfortable, and he thought it was a little harsh, and then he applied it to himself, and he was like, dang. And then somebody said to him in the conversation, like. And then when it said to him, you say you're not comfortable with stuff a lot. And he was like, he got offended and all that other stuff. But when he said it, I'm like, yeah, he would always say that. Well, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, that was something that was in Billy's like vernacular, you know what I mean? So then he admitted, then he realized like all this stuff, you know, and this has happened over, you know, period of months, and 100 pounds gone, you know, now 100 pounds lighter. You know, he applied that same you know, principle, you know. And it's funny because I'm learning, and then some of the stuff that like I feel stupid about, like talking about this type of stuff, because it's lessons that I've been told my whole life, but I'm just finally getting it now, you know. I don't know what it is as far as, you know, I don't know why, you know. It's actually a trend in millennial people, you know. So
I've been feeling that. Like that heaviness.
Yeah, what do you mean heaviness?
Like the responsibility. You know what I mean? Like that's been like, because I mean, now I know about it and it's not going away. kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah.
always looking at it now.
Yeah.
And that makes it every day just like, sometimes it's like good because when you really take it on, you know, you end the day feeling like you're tired, but you're like satisfied.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? 'Cause, like you
Yeah.
picked it up, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
did what you had to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I suck at it still.
Yeah, I know.
Like
and,
there's still more days.
well, I guess you
What-
only learn through experience,
Right.
But you know, and imagine, and I hate. I used to hate when people said this to me, kind of like when somebody said this to Billy. But I said something to Billy, but you realize that they're right. It's even 10 times more when you're married, just married, no children.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously I know you see that, but then married with children, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, now you're spinning a whole bunch of different plates. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, okay, make sure I spend enough time with them, and then depends on how many of them are there, and then with your spouse, you know, wife or husband, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
with them, and that's a private time away from family time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then your art, and then how your mortgage, and
Yeah.
then, you know what I mean? Like, it's a freaking, you know, but you're in a good spot, you know what I mean? You're in your 30s, you're super talented, you're it's clicking, everything's clicking. I had a joke that I used to say in treatment, like your brain don't start working until you're 28 anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it seems like it's true, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you're in your 30s and everything's coming together, and you don't have any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Continue to freaking work on what you're doing. So
That is what I'm doing.
yeah, man. So do you want to talk about anything that you're working on now? You want to see if that for actually, you know, before that, how many albums do you have out? I don't even know the answer to this.
I have one album out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what? So as far as your music stuff, like, how does that catalog look, or
So-
that story look? Maybe I don't know. However
So-
you look at it.
This well,
Story or catalog, however.
yeah. So the album I have out right now is Grace Alone.
When did that come out?
That came out 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a Kickstarter album. So my musical journey, I guess, started back when I was playing at High Point.
Okay.
You know, I would play on stage here and there. That's when I started learning guitar.
Really? How
Yeah.
old were you then?
I was like 16, 17.
What were you? Oh, that's right. And Carpers too. Carp
Yeah.
knew how to play, but he didn't know how
Yeah.
to sing. He's
Yeah.
a way better singer, way better. Sorry, Carp. But I remember, bro. Like you know. But your song selection is always just perfect. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But you remember that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways,
Carp was so dope to me back then.
I
You
know
what I
now
mean?
he's just he's whack. He's
still
horrible.
cool, but it was
Nah.
like back then I was a
Nah.
kid.
He won't come on my podcast, bro.
Oh really?
Yeah, he
Give him
won't.
time.
Yeah.
Give him time.
Yeah, he's whack. Until I see him in this garage, he's whack. Carp, you whack, bro.
I love you, Carp.
I love you too, but you're whack, man.
But not like dang. What was I saying?
I don't know. I distracted you. We were talking about your album. So Grace Alone. That came out when?
Came out 2014.
And you were what, 20?
24.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause I was born in 90, so it's pretty easy to keep track of my age.
Oh, cool.
So 90, so 14, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Geez. So how many EP?
I wasn't 24 yet. It was right before my birthday. 'Cause my birthday is in February. And it was released in January 28th, 2014. And what was the next question?
I don't remember. How did you release it?
How did I release it?
Yeah.
Yes. So I did a Kickstarter.
Okay.
It was Kickstarted, and that the first release was with Kickstarter backers.
Mm.
And after it was all funded and well, we recorded it, sent it to the Kickstarter backers first. It released on iTunes as well.
Mm.
And well, I think I released it on Bandcamp first, and then iTunes, and I think everything else, because I think the way I did it, the distributors sent it out to all
Gotcha.
online stores.
Huh. So, and you didn't do? Did you do anything like physical CD?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did physical CDs too.
And the tour came right. Like how did the tour begin? Like did you have a manager at that time?
No,
Or-
so there was a company, well, not company, an organization, missions organization called Hope Missions.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Hope Mission Trips. A friend of mine, Cody. Cody put me in contact with Sean Doss, who was he was the head of Hope Missions.
Okay.
And so basically, Hope Mission got in contact with me via email, basically saying, so what I got from Corey was that there was going to be a missions organization that was going to come to town, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember this right now.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to get it.
You got it. Let's go. Get
yeah,
the wheels turning.
yeah. So,
Incredible.
so yeah, Corey told me. I remember I was working at Liberator Medical Supply at the time.
Yeah. What? Really?
Liberator Medical Supply. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I remember he told me, he's like, "Hey, you available to lead music for this missions organization? They're coming to town. They'll be in here for like a week. They need someone to do every night, like maybe two of the 4 nights they're gonna be here. I'm doing the first 4, but they need someone else to do the other 4 because I'm not gonna be able to be there."
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, he was like, "Yeah, and they'll pay for gas." I was like, "All right, cool."
So at this point, you're just doing leading worship at WOTC?
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe.
Was it?
Well, I'm
I'm sure
you're
it
probably
was.
in and out. Yeah, you're probably in and out.
Yeah, I can't remember if I was. Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, it's so good. Not even a cut you off.
But yeah, so
Just so you guys know, if everybody does know, WOTC is Word of the Cross. It's a church that we helped plant 2010.
yeah,
2010.
yeah,
Yeah,
closer to 10, I think.
Yeah, so yeah,
Because I was in New York at the time, and then Josh and everyone kept telling me about it, and
gotcha.
but then Digital Domain went to Port St. Lucie,
So
and that's when I came back, and then that's when I started joining up. But that was 2010.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
So there was a reason why. I brought that up. Not for, to go ahead and continue with the story.
Yeah. So. Man, where was I? What was I talking about?
Your boy don't know.
Okay, I'll start here.
Oh, Cody. You met
Corey,
with him.
yeah.
Corey, sorry.
Corey, yeah.
No, you said Cody before. Then you said
I know.
sorry.
Then I said sorry.
Okay, but you're trying to remember it. But okay, so you're talking to Cody. Oh my God.
That's funny. It's Corey.
He's Cody now.
Oh, Carol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, and he was gonna play for Hope, how the tour started.
Yeah. So he was doing 2 nights with them. He asked me to fill in the other 2. So I said yes. He gave them my email, I think, is what happened. I don't know. I got an email from Hope Missions. It was Sean Doss. He was talking about what they were going to be preaching on and what they do and all this other stuff, and I really liked it. They basically go to different cities and they help out all kinds of things in that city, and they help fix things.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or they'll go to like ravaged cities or neighborhoods or things like that.
Awesome.
After like kind of like relief.
Yeah. They still exist?
Yeah, we haven't done much.
Okay.
Well, I say we because whenever Sean does stuff in the summer, I'm usually with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so, but that was the first time that happened. Was I met him there, and that was like my first time.
And then that's when you started just like basically being able to play in front of different audiences.
Yeah, that was my first time being able to play.
So that's how that happened.
Right.
I never knew.
What happened after that was that we kind of got in a, we kicked it off afterwards. We talked back and forth, and we kind of agreed with each other's thoughts and things like that. We enjoyed each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of fun together. And after that, I remember, I can't remember, or maybe it wasn't that. Maybe I was working at Tam Lighting. I can't remember, but I remember getting let go at one of these jobs.
Yeah.
I remember getting let go,
Mm-hmm.
and then being sad, and kind of like real sad, just like, man, I can't even keep a job. Like this is me. Like I can't do anything.
You're a
right,
loser.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you felt like a loser.
And
Soul wasn't shining.
right after that, I got that email saying, "Hey, so we're gonna go out for 2 weeks in 2 cities, and we wanted you to come and be the worship leader for that whole thing for the whole week."
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do.
I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." And he said they were gonna pay for the whole thing, and I wouldn't have to pay for anything.
Mm-hmm.
All that was covered, and then I would be getting paid for it. And at that time it was like a good pay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, so I'm just gonna go and play my guitar and sing some songs that I'd probably sing at World of Cross or something. And then I had one song that I had written at the time. And so I went out with them. It was Memphis, Tennessee was the first city, I think. And it was like
I remember that.
it was Oklahoma or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where the next one was. Louisville, Kentucky, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I remember
an interesting story happening in Louisville. Was it Kentucky?
maybe it was. I don't know. I mean, there were so many stories.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So we can
Yeah.
do that, right? I mean, the ones that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, we could do that.
Cool.
But one of the crazy ones, well, it was crazy. It was the first crazy one.
Yeah.
Was meeting this girl who was helping out
Yeah, I think, yeah.
at the. No, this wasn't the same story. I think.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about.
Okay, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I think so anyway.
You do.
So she was helping out with the merch stand, and she had thought about like she gave me the idea of doing a Kickstarter.
Okay.
Because every night the kids were coming up to the concession stands and like, hey, we want that album from that kid with the glasses who's singing on stage, and they were like, oh, he doesn't have a CD.
That happened to us.
And
too.
so Sean Canyon was like, hey, every night people are coming up to these tables like asking for some music. You need to make an album and sell some albums.
Yeah.
And because Sean was like a hustler, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so he was like, come on, like produce something. And then this girl was talking about, I was like, yeah, all you have to do is get a bunch of names. And so like, it seemed like she was like some kind of like student body organizer or something like that.
Yeah.
She saw the possibilities that I just didn't consider.
A future Karen.
Yeah. So she was just like, yeah, why don't you just do one of these, get a whole bunch of these names, and then blah, this and that, plug it into Kickstarter, start,
Oh.
I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so I started doing that, getting names, and that was like my mind started churning because I was out in front of a whole bunch of random people from very far, because not only was it in different cities, but all these people were coming together from different churches in different states to come to one thing to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I was meeting a lot of people from a lot of states in these condensed nights.
Yeah.
And then after that, those cities would start, fast forward, those cities are the ones that, or churches are the ones that are, paying for me to go and fly out to them for individual shows, and then I get in front of more people. So it just kind of spread real naturally like that. But I remember coming home after that first kind of like trip in those two states.
Yeah.
And I remember like there were two different things where I left and people knew the songs. It was like that I wrote in my room.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that because of the whole way it's set up, I'm sitting there with a whole week with them. And so we're playing the same songs here and there, but then I'm adding new ones, but then I'm playing the same ones. And one of my songs was the ones that I added almost every night.
Yeah.
So they really knew the song by themselves at the end of it at every place I left.
Yeah.
And that started to, attract people, attract fans, and attract like people who would talk to me afterwards. And that was the first time I started to like get that whole sense of like, okay, like you moving in the world has a ripple. And this is like a physical, like here I am right now. People have listened to things, and they've, that was the first time I started.
Like you've just been writing songs in your room and got fired from your job, and then now I'm here.
Yeah. Like that was like I came home and I remember Kyle Decker.
Yeah.
We went to his house.
Yeah, this cat.
There was we went to his house. I remember being at his house after coming home from that thing. I forgot what it was. I think it was maybe like a birthday party, but or maybe a goodbye party. I can't remember, but it was some kind of party at Kyle's house. And I remember like Josh and Carp and Billy and all the guys or whatever, they were sitting there in the corner, and I got in and said what's up to everyone. I remember sitting down with them. It was my first time back, and I'm like, guys, like we need to do something. Like that was the first time. Like I came back and I was like, we got to do something. Like we can do some things. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had you definitely had the talent back then. You were already kind of, the photography with the videos, you know what I mean? So. And
Josh hooked me up. Like he helped me with a lot of just like organizing mentally what I wanted to do with the Kickstarter and how to talk to people. Okay. And I was like, so he was
Shout out to Josh.
Yeah, Josh was a huge help in setting that whole thing up with Kickstarter, and even like setting up like writing letters to the session you know, to get permission to use like the
Josh.
Yeah, bro, Josh is like amazing.
Apparently, there's untapped talent right there.
Oh my gosh.
Well, probably tapped.
It's
now.
been tapped very, very many times. By
Okay,
very many people.
that just sounds so weird.
Yeah. Josh definitely got tapped.
There's a better way to say that. A way better way to say that.
But yeah, man, like, I mean, he was very instrumental in the whole construction of that whole online
that's awesome,
thing. And I remember, you know, we shot a video for it, and we recorded some stuff. We just did everything that exactly what you were talking about in here. We had some stuff lying around where we just took it and made something with it, man. Like, we just filmed our friends talking. We just, you know.
Remember that one video you guys did in the woods?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
I remember that. Dope.
Yeah, that was Jersey. Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw you off there, but yeah, so you were doing that stuff, man.
Yeah, we were. I mean, I look fond of those times because we were just doing stuff. We were meeting up. Like, all right, what's next on this list to do? But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just being in the midst of something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that like in the process of building something.
Yeah, I know, man.
You know?
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's probably the thing that you felt. Like,
Yeah.
the excitement. It's like, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, it's hard. It's an accomplishment when you get it from something that's abstract to the physical world, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Like, but the process of doing that is exciting because what I experienced in that process is like it reminds me of you watch the Iron Man movies, right? Anytime you see Tony Stark in a lab, it's just like random stuff. Get that thing over here.
Yeah.
And he's doing this crazy thing and making like a new element, right?
Yeah.
But he's just like, and that's how I feel. Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, you think you're gonna go in one direction, then you get there and you're like, and then you see like all these like possibilities, and you can move forward, and then you know what I mean, and it just kind of grows. It's like a web, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how it that's how the creative process feels. So I get it, and that's the exciting thing, because then the next thing happens, and your brain is just firing,
Right.
and then you have to. Dang, I should have did the song that we were gonna do. You have to catch it. This is the way I feel about it, though. You have to catch it, because then you lose it. Then it's gone. Has that ever happened to you?
Like an idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, of course. But that's what the
They
song
come,
is
they
about.
go, they come, they go, they come, they go.
Yeah.
But some of them are just like, because for me, it's like it's what it's attached to. In a weird way, this animation project I'm working right now is attached to the fact that I now have an iPad, like a tool that I can go anywhere I want to go.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do on this thing? Can I make a whole thing? I could probably make a whole thing. Well, let me try to make this whole thing. Is that really good? And then you do it a few times, like, yeah, I could do that if I just did this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if I just did this, and if I did this, then oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that whole thing.
But as you're going, especially if you're talking about like or using a program, then as you're going, you're like, I didn't know the program could do this.
Yeah.
Like,
or whatever program you have, the idea drives. So I think that can be different for people, because I know a lot of people who use, like, for example, I use Procreate or I use After Effects. These are editing softwares.
Yeah.
And
sorry, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people I talk to who I work with, you know, in the industry, like, they know the software in and out. I don't know the software in and out.
Do they know multiple softwares?
Probably.
In and out?
Probably. But the point is, like, usually when I'm in a software, I'm just trying to get it to do a thing.
I just got to get this thing out.
Yeah, I want a thing, and it has to look exactly like this. Who can help me do that? You? Okay. Can you do this and you do that? Okay, cool. I don't know the software past what I've needed it for. You know, so people tell me to teach them stuff, and I was like, I have to teach you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and all this other stuff.
Oh, so that's
or you're just gonna learn this sliver of information, because that's all I've tapped into. You know.
So I mean, and honestly, I mean, that's the most. I mean, if you want to look at it, it's like it's the most pragmatic way to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the most. That's what it is. It's pragmatic, and that's how you're doing it. But what's the other way that you were saying? Like, it could be different for everybody
the other
else?
way. I know a lot of people who just know the soft, like the. So that.
You presented it.
That's pretty much the point.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
But how was it? But their art is still good.
Yeah, it's just different. The art is just different.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like so. Because I think about a lot of that stuff as perspective, like different perspectives. So like the way that I approach what I'm doing, what you see in my art is going to be a result of that. Like so Procreate, I only know how to do a set amount of things in it
Mm-hmm.
because of the picture I'm actually making. So like that picture is what I'm going to show people, right? Like, and that's what mattered to me. Some people, I think it like, depending on how, maybe I'm saying the same thing, I don't know, but depending on how they, like we're talking in the car, conservative and liberal, or, you know, right brain, left brain, you know, A, B personality, whatever. Like, I think there's a side of the spectrum where people just like to throw paint. And I think there's a side of where people like to be very meticulous about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think both can tell a very compelling story that some of us probably wouldn't understand right away with one, but someone else who thinks like that would probably be like, oh, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like
it's
that
a
kind of
language.
thing.
Yeah. But it's like, it's like making up a language, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the medium, though. But yeah, no, I definitely see that that perspective of it, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm just learning what I need to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do know that what I need to know is, like you said, I guess you already said it, is excellent. It has to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to be on point. You know what I mean? Before it can be released or see the time of day. Bro, so now you're working on an album?
So it keeps changing, but
So how long have you been in this process?
Man, it's hard to. So what I'm making right now is for something that maybe started maybe like a couple years ago, after I started seeing things. After I did a second Kickstarter, right?
Okay, so yeah, we actually continue the story.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Go ahead.
Right. So, let me start from the beginning. So basically, Kickstarter drops, mad people contribute to it. I do this Kickstarter concert, you know, while Josh writes that lecture session. We do the event there. We film everything, and so everything we're doing, we're filming it. We're filming the process of it happening, and then we're just uploading videos to it. And at that time, I wasn't thinking about something I think about all the time now. But
what is that?
I was just making songs, and I wanted to share them with people. My eyes weren't open to the fact that it was me up there. Like I was up there doing something, and like.
What do you mean that?
Like.
You were focused. It looked in your mind. It was a show instead of like you connecting with people.
Yeah, sort of. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Like, I still felt like I connected with people afterwards.
Yeah.
But while the show was happening, that was like...
Well, what I'm saying is you just didn't meld yourself with the art yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I was doing something because I was like, this is what you do. And I wanted to do what I saw well. So I was copying something really well, I think. I think that'll always be the case, but I think maybe as you get older, you learn more things, and then you mesh them all together.
Well, you criticize it. It's just you get tired of the art, and then it's bad to you, but it's good, but to you it's bad.
Right. And so maybe I got to that place, and so, but around that time, I started to feel sour about like just doing all these shows for a while. You know, because just the music started to be weird to me to play. Like, you know, it was weird to me that with being a worship leader comes playing other people's songs, and whether or not you like those songs is what the congregation likes, and so we're all going to sing this together. And I didn't know if that was like, if I was being arrogant by not wanting to do all the songs, and I just started to think about all this stuff like on overdrive.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've to this day gotten a lot of the answers I'm looking for, but still, like,
I think you already answered it before. Like it's not selfish. We always have this conflict with like what being selfish and then like what's self-preserving, you know. And I think that what God has done is given everybody gifts and things to do, and when you're not doing it, that's selfish. you know, and maybe not that's your motive or whatever, but if there was any accusation of selfishness to be thrown, and what I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
is if you're not doing it, but when you are doing it, you got to kind of be selfish about that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think about Moses,
Yeah.
like if he told him to lead these people and do all this stuff, he's, you know what I mean? He's not going to be like, oh man, God told me to do this, I got to go, bro. He's going to be like, bump all y'all cats. Like, he's going to, I've seen all these miracles and, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. So, you know what I mean? So the point is, I don't even remember what the point was, to be honest with you. But, yeah, whatever. My mind went somewhere else as I was talking. It's incredible.
I totally understand.
As I was talking.
Yeah.
How does this happen? But go back to your story.
Yes, I'm so bad at coming back.
Second Kickstarter.
Yeah. So okay, second Kickstarter comes around, and at this point,
Was it? No, it was actually the thing you're getting tired of the art, and then that's when the second.
yeah.
Okay.
And so well, yeah. So I really liked doing shows, and I really liked the idea. So the reason I got into shows in the first place, or like in guitar and playing in front of people, was because of I don't know how much of it was whenever I would see like the reaction that people would have towards something that was great, I got very excited. So like and like I could feel it, but I could also see it's happening in everyone else.
Yeah.
So I'm
actually,
like, so like for a second you feel like a flower in a field of flowers, and all of them are doing what flowers do, and you're noticing that kind of thing. And so like when I saw people respond to music or art or something, like some kind of experience that no one really thought about, like they didn't know they liked or they would like or whatever, but it's happening in the moment, and then you see everyone is reacting to like that was always telling to me.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked creating that kind of experience.
Wow.
Like that part of it.
Yeah.
Like I wanted people to walk away was like, this was something that like, wow. Yeah, I never really would have thought someone would do anything like that.
Yeah, this is a unique experience.
Yeah. And
like the X29 stuff, like what we were talking about. Like those nights at X29.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is crazy. This is, I can't never experience anything like this. Just the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And the hospitality, and then the art and the message.
Yeah.
And, just the vibe. It was the people that were there was just amazing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Especially the last one. Remember the last one?
Mm-mm.
Wow, you played the last one.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember all of them together, just like this big. I remember like one of them being in one area, and then the rest of them, or maybe a bunch of them were in the front one area. I just remember them being two separate areas.
Remember when the church got flooded and they moved into that? We had to move into that small room.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
And you played something from Phil Wickham, "Beautiful."
Yeah.
To close the night.
I was heavy into Phil Wickham.
Yeah, and I preached that night. I remember that.
Yeah. So all that was way before any of the music stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like when you were at High Point, and you were learning then, and that was your clique for I don't know how long. I didn't know you, and then once it was basically more like brown people over here, you know what I mean, and that were Christians, and you were like, okay, and then so everybody switched over from other places to come to Calvary because Axe was there,
right?
Because of the vibe, because like every church you go to is what it is, you know, but like young urban people, white, black, didn't matter. My wife was a part of that, you know what I mean? She can't, she doesn't vibe with people like that, but she vibed with, urban people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that was what was happening, where it was something for our church, but then it was like other people from other churches just started coming and vibing because there's nothing like that,
Yeah.
And that was the problem, and that's where it's like, why?
Yeah.
There's something that was beautiful that was happening. We weren't pulling anybody from anywhere, but then there were going to be complaints about people pulling people from other churches. It's like,
that was the reason?
not the only reason, but that was like, it was a part of it. It was a part of it, a small part, but that was something that was said. The main thing was the Calvinism thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's the past.
Yeah, I still don't understand any of that stuff.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just like I said with your brother, it really doesn't matter. I mean, in all reality, it doesn't matter. because I still hold some of those beliefs. I don't even care.
I understand it and I don't understand it, just like a lot of those other things we were talking about in the car, like different perspectives.
Yeah,
and how hard people lean into.
Oh, that's what you're saying. No, that's just church politics. That's just again, that's the main thing that I'm trying to break is that tribalism type stuff, man. Like, and you mean your brother have always bump heads. We did on the thing about the tribalism thing because he wants people to be more tribal, and I get it. I do too, but the pejorative sense, tribal in the pejorative sense is, I can't question my team at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was on that offensive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Again, and that's an example of it. You know what I mean? Where you're starting an organization and you get it and all that stuff. But the thing is, it's a church. That's the thing where it's just like, oh, that's where I roll my eyes at. You know what I mean? Like if it's like somebody's business, personal business, stuff like that. Like, oh, they make business decisions. They got to do what they got to do. I get it. But when something beautiful like that was happening, it's stupid. But anyways, so you did the second Kickstarter. I'm gonna stop talking.
Second Kickstarter. I don't really. Okay, so yes.
The point in the second Kickstarter is
we didn't make it.
You didn't?
No, we didn't.
Oh.
It fell short. I think I asked for like 15,000, and then I can't remember how much we actually made. I think we made like 3,000.
Oh wow! And
then after that, it failed. And I remember, like, I put, like, a lot of videos and all this other stuff into it.
Oh, wow. So yeah.
Yeah, but, and so it didn't make it. And I remember thinking, like, dang, what a failure. Like, ugh.
That's why I said, wow, I would have felt that way.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I wanted to put out there really doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's just my fantasy in my head, and nobody really likes it. I'm here by myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was like, wow, okay. And I remember I put out this video at the time. And I remember I was going to like different churches and, asking for money and things like that, or just raising awareness for the Kickstarter. So I would go and I would play something and then I would have like little setup.
Thank you for clarifying.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would go to these places and I would, I would do like an event or like an appearance, and then in the main lobby there would be like a computer logged onto Kickstarter and you can give if you want, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but we didn't make enough at the end of the day. And I remember thinking, like, you know what? I didn't do as much as I could have. Like, I felt like I could have done more. Like, I think I thought I had this in the bag. You know what I mean?
Because it just happened the last time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that was like the first time where I was like, okay, let me go deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like I wasn't even feeling 100% about what just went wrong.
Yeah.
Like I put out the video.
You were tempted with the failure stuff. Is what you're saying. You weren't 100% like that's where you were. But
well, with what I was saying in the actual Kickstarter video, the album I wanted to make, like after it finished, I was like, well, I didn't really want to make that record.
What if you said
like I felt like it was gonna be more of like a Christian record because I just put like more of what I've been doing in the past, just like a part 2 or like continuation in that whole genre and feel.
But you didn't challenge it.
And I was like, you know what? After the Kickstarter for that idea failed, it freed me up to think and to explore something else. Like, what if I just do it myself and then make something by myself? What if I approach making the music a different way or whatever? I just start playing with ideas.
Yeah, is that when you were messing with the synth stuff that you were showing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, you continue. But, as you're bringing up memories, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just like the latest thing. I've been messing with a whole bunch of different sounds and all this other stuff. And I've been listening to, like, different people. And I guess like my whole as I've been doing it, I've been watching a lot of people do live stuff, and that was the first time I just started to look at, I saw some videos of myself in the past doing stuff, and I remember thinking like, okay, wow, this is like pretty cool, like seeing this from the outside. And then I would see other because that's what I would do for music. I would always watch live stuff on YouTube, like not even the professionally recorded stuff. Like that was fun, but I like to go to people's cell phone videos, of a show, because like you feel like you can feel what the sound might have felt like on them as an individual in that area.
And I think it's that thing, like you said, let's call it possession. Like, that you can possess a crowd. Like, you know what I mean? Let's just call it that for now, right? Just for a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you also know that person is possessed because they took out their phone to stop and go, this music I have to keep.
Yeah.
I had to keep this moment. You know what I mean? So I get it. So that's why you go that way. It's weird. Like, as we've been talking for the last couple of hours, your mind works in a way that I don't understand.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because like I used to get really into the idea of like live sound. I was really not the idea. I was into live sound.
Yeah.
You know, like it was after my first, I think it was like a Phil Wickham show.
Yeah.
I remember it was in Palm Beach. It was my first time seeing him because Josh put me on Phil like way back when he was doing his sing along album. That's where
it was a great album.
Yeah, that's where Beautiful, you know, all those other songs. And I first like that when I first heard that, I was like, whoa, this is one guy with this guitar. Like, and it sounds like huge in there.
Yeah.
And I remember like I wanted to learn how to play guitar like that.
Yeah.
Like that's how I want to play. I want to fill a room with a sound. Like I want like just I want like my own butter I can put on a experience on a moment. You know what I mean? And so that's when I started to like play around with like live sound, like because I would watch these videos of him playing and I could feel the bass hitting the speaker.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, like there's a lot of bass in that guitar. And so I'll go, when I was doing a show, I would like crank that bass, you know what I mean? See what it sounded like, just tweak things. And then I remember going to another show when I was interested in this stuff. And I remember talking to a sound engineer. It was like, hey, so how do you get this guitar to sound like this and like that? And then he would just start talking to me about it. And I was like, what? Like you push it to the limit? Nobody does that. He's like, yeah, well, everyone's just trying to be careful and stuff like that. But you know, you got to. I mean, he knew how to get a lot of good sound coming out of the PA, without it sounding gross. You know what I mean? Like, and I started to care a little bit more about PAs and all this other stuff, and I got really into them, bro. And I remember like whenever I would play a show, or whenever we were about to go on tour with Sean, he would ask like, hey, how do we make this sound better? And I would tell him, and then he would just get the stuff to make it sound better. And I would just be out there like in sound check for like hours, just like tweaking the vocals.
I remember.
Bro, I love that whole process. Yeah. Because it was like, okay, I want to recreate whatever that moment in that cell phone video felt. Like I want to record what that feels like, because it's always different. That signal's always different coming live PA, and it always hits you different. Like it's like something is interacting with your body physically when you're in that moment. You're around people.
It is. It's sound.
And and it's it's happening right away.
Yeah. And
I remember like that was such an important thing for me at that point, because that's like in the same way you watch a film, like that finished final product is like whatever's in that box is what they like. You don't see anything on the outside that created this little box.
Yeah.
That's being presented to you. And I always like the idea of somebody who crafts a sound exactly what they want you to hear, you know, so well, and to the point where it sounds like this in the front, like this in the middle, like this in the back, has like a bunch of full sound. Like you don't, I mean, a lot of people don't think about that because they're just like engulfed. But
not a lot of people looking at acoustics,
right?
And stuff
like,
I know about
because at the end of the day, it's going to be about the experience, and the experience is only going to be as good as how the sound is and what the visuals are.
Exactly.
And so I would always like go into little details, like, you know, I was walking in like, why don't we switch this? And I want to make you see what is in my head, or make you hear what is in my head.
How did people respond to that? I don't want to pull you off like I always do, but how did people respond to that in those moments? If they were like supportive, like okay,
like what, like
people when you're just in these random places and you're like, okay, you're trying to set it up like that. How did people just fall in line? Like, okay, I'm you know, like, yeah, we're gonna make it look like that.
Yeah, I mean, because I think like most people want a good show to happen.
Yeah.
But most people, like a lot of these churches or some of these places didn't do a lot of shows like that.
Yeah.
You know, and so
you were basically
I was just like, let's clear off the stage and let's do the. I mean, you know, I'm coming from some other place. They probably think I just
they don't know what to think.
Yeah. But I realized that if you were coming to present something, then they let you do what you want to do to make it how it is.
No, that's
and
good.
Usually I would have the doors closed beforehand. So like, there are a lot of these mental things that I took with me as well. I don't know if they were good or bad, but it's what I saw people do, so I would just mimic it. And so before sound checks, I realized that whenever you come into a show and you come early, they have sound check closed. So I would just say, oh yeah, we have to close sound check. And I mean, I liked it though. Mm-hmm. It happened because I could just do whatever I want. I noticed whenever someone walks in, I get kind of weird and shy, and like now I'm performing with this one person. I didn't want any of that, or like to have it be confused by it at all if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And so I just said, let's just close the doors. I want people to be surprised anyway. Whenever they walk in, I want them to just like, even if they hear.
you sorry, you just want go ahead. You're just trying to create like from the moment you cross his threshold, it's a different thing. It's a different place.
Yeah, even when the guy's talking beforehand, I want like he can sound a certain way, but once the sound for the main thing goes on, and this is because I remember all this from going to these shows. Whenever the music starts, there's a different feeling. It's almost like, yo, this is not the same microphone this guy used. Like, like this. Like I didn't even know the sound could be like this.
Yeah.
Like these bands will mix the crap out of a show to the point where you didn't even realize certain things could sound the way they did. That's what excited me about the whole thing. Was what was possible. Like people would make something sound so specific.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the normal world, and everyone's just like, "It sound good, cool." And then you hear subpar sound everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And I remember it's like, man, there's no passion in that. And so, but if I'm going to be taking stages, I'm going to put a little bit of passion in it.
Yes.
I want you to feel what it could feel like. And so like that's why I'm always looking up shows online. I want to feel what it probably felt like. Like if it's a video recording with the sound coming straight from the soundboard, then sometimes you don't hear what the crowd felt like out there or whatever. But if you listen to a video from out there, you feel every kick. Sometimes it distorts the sound, which excites me because it's like, yo, that now I have a gauge of how loud or powerful that kick probably was at that show, and I can take that into consideration when I'm trying to mix mine.
That's so interesting. That's how Sing Along, the first one, sounds.
Yeah.
As you're saying that, I'm like, I've heard that before. Oh, stat.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing was about that album? It's funny because I'm assuming I could assume that that album inspired that standard for you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, or expectation or whatever, But it's just so funny that dang, if I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny how that happens. You know what I mean? How you just you took something that it just sounded good.
Yeah.
It just sounded good, like we're talking about video. You just do it because it sounded good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or it looks good.
Yeah. Oh, it looks good. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you're working on something now. And you don't. And so, what is that supposed to look like?
I have no idea. Right now, all I know is that, it's so weird when you have to explain what just been in your head.
Yeah, well, I know it's an early stage. You know? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get people to look forward to it. So the next time when it's ready and you're ready to present it, that's what it's going. So the thing that eventually you're going to present, what is do the elevator pitch? You don't even have to go into the big. Well, thing.
That's the thing. It's like,
yeah, I know.
Who even knows what it is?
Yeah.
Well, so basically, I'm playing with a model, and it's still in the works, so this probably isn't it. But I'm basically thinking.
You mean model like a type of album that's never made before? You never heard before?
No, like how I'm going to release music from here on out.
Gotcha.
But this is still something I'm playing with. I don't know. I'm realizing because of how long it's taking me to make what I'm making right now. I probably want to reconfigure how I'm going to make the next few songs, or if I'm still going to do that. And it's funny because I only think about like the idea of making music because most people ask me, "Hey, you still doing music?" And I ask myself, "Am I?" I think so. Is that what I'm doing right now? I feel like I'm just drawing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
you are. Well, not really. I mean, well, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is like, So I made a song, and man, how do I even like talk about what? Okay, I'll approach it from this angle. I've been walking around this tree in my front yard, mango tree.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about growth a lot.
Okay.
And ever since that last Kickstarter, I got into the idea of making something a little bit more grassroots, quite literally, just like an idea out of whatever I was experiencing in that moment. And at that time, I was watching these trees grow. And I remember as I was doing that, I was asking more questions to my father, like, "Hey, like, when you planted these trees, like how'd you do it or whatever?" And these are things that happened while I was around, but I just didn't care at the time. And so, but now I'm walking under this tree that's providing shade, and it's providing a way for me to go through my thoughts. I'm like, man, where does the tree start from? Like, and so asking my father about it, he told me about him planting it. And got this idea of me. I got this idea of like him having his whole life all of a sudden, just like he decided to plant a tree. and that's just one point of his life, you know. And I started thinking about like, you know, him coming here and building a home for his kids.
Yeah.
And I think about it like I would think about like Jody and Ashley right now. They have young kids and they're making these moves, and I feel like I'm on their level right now, and you know the kids don't even understand what kind of level that is.
Yes.
And I remember that's how I've always looked at life around my family until I started to ask more questions, and I started to be like, okay, wow, this is I guess my parents, how they, you know, how they probably saw things back then, a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
And you know that just got me like thinking about growth. Like now this tree that he kept watering through thick and thin, storms kept coming, all this other stuff. He just kept taking care of it, and it grew up into this big thing. And I just got excited about that idea. Like, you know, so I wanted to write something about growth, and you know, Dragon Ball Z, all about growth.
Yeah.
Huge growth. And
yeah,
so,
for sure.
And so, and I used to love Dragon Ball Z as a you know, as a kid.
Yeah. So what's the Dragon Ball Z have to do with it, though?
Well, that's the thing I told you in the car on the way here. I was saying, I don't really have another reason than I just really want to draw some Dragon Ball Z.
No, but what I'm saying, what does it have to do with your project?
That's what I mean. I was trying to find a way to make it make sense.
Okay.
But it's because it's really just like but I think that's the way.
Yeah.
It has to do with growth.
Yeah.
Because I've just been thinking about that show a lot, and I've been thinking about, okay, so like, there's a couple things that inspired me to do this. So I'm doing a Dragon Ball Z, cartoon, my own, that isn't connected with the show, obviously, but, is maybe like an episode that I've always wanted to see. So ever since Luby and I were kids, we had our own Dragon Ball Z characters. You know, my character's name was Screw, his name was Rag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had fathers, and they had like you know I know their fathers' names, I know their wives' names.
Holy crap!
Like and I made a comic book about them too.
Yeah.
And they're training against this. It was maybe like when I was like 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was Screw and Rag versus Lendor. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, like, I wonder if I could animate my own thing. And that was way back then.
Yeah.
Because I just loved working with the color pencils and the pen drawings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see it move, but I could never do that. And so now I have a way to do that, the iPad. And the goal is to make the whole thing using my iPad to see how much of it I can get done.
Okay.
Just to see, just to do it, just to see if I could. There's easier ways. I don't want to do it. I want to do it like this because I think this provides more. It provides me a way to animate outside if I want, which has been huge for me. Just being outside more.
For the creative process, or
Okay. I set up a table and have my iPad and I just draw outside.
Fantastic.
And then every once in a while I just get up and walk around the house as much as possible, and I just sit back down and keep going. And that's usually how animation days go.
Yeah.
Either it's there or on my desk or something like that. But just I can do it wherever. Like if we're taking a long trip, I'm in the car and I'm working on it. I've never been able to do that. And so it's weird to be that connected to my work now.
Okay.
So like there's good and bad stuff I feel like that comes with it, but my mind has only been registering the good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you know what I mean? It's just
no, I mean, and again, if you want to get better at a craft, you got to spend more time on it. And then seeing stuff that's on your Instagram and all, and like, and then the stuff that you showed me personally, and then you let me hear the song.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's good. It's good. It's, you know what I mean? And always with that excellence, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and that's why I wanted to definitely have you on again. When we can talk about whatever, but I know that we're both in the thick of like this, you know, creative thing. You know what I mean? Whatever's happening, you know what I mean? And it's cool to see that like you're on the same wavelength with your brothers. And they're and we're totally doing separate things. You know what I mean? But then but I'm telling you, talk to Jermaine, talk to DP. These cats. Have you talked to them lately? Any of these people?
No.
C-Boy. You know what I mean?
Not lately.
Yeah, I just a couple, and then there's other cats that they just have the mentality of this. You know what I mean? They're grinding. You know what I mean? They're moving forward. They got plans. You know what I mean? So, I see your brother. Your brother, again, he's one of them too. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
see like, or both of them. So I see but you guys been on that tip. But I see things coming together, man, with certain people, and I want to see you guys. I think that we're gonna be successful. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that. So I want to continue to promote you, continue to have you on, and just promote you in life. You know what I mean? Just 'cause how it's always been with us. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I love
That's
you,
true.
bro. I love you. And I think we just finished.
Cool.
Yeah.
Life is so crazy, I never imagined the day it would be like this. You can make all of the plans that you wanna, but G.O.D., you know that he got his. Life is so crazy, I never imagined the day it would be like this. You can make all of the plans that you wanna, but G.O.D., you know that he got his. So we laughing at you.